Good morning, wrestling fans, and welcome to PWR Weekly. The man they call Meathead, Linda K, Matthew Thomas. Linda K, how are you doing? Matthew, how are you doing? How's your morning? How's your Monday?
It's going tremendous as always.
I think this is the right way to start the week. It's everybody on this planet should start the week right here with us.
Well, I mean, we could always try that, but we're going to start the week with PWR Weekly. And first off, Matthew Thomas, we can't get into any PWR Weekly without talking about who sponsors the program.
Who keeps the lights on here? You know, if it not for this company, I don't think any of us would have lights. And that company is collarandelbowbrand.com. No, it's not an electrical company. It is a clothing company, maker of fine goods. And if you want to see for yourself, head on over to collarandelbowbrand.com. Enter promo code Linda K, LINDAKAY, and that's going to save you 10% off of your order. And little birdie told me they got a new little fall lineup there.
Wow. All right. Well, you know, they're not the only people that take care of us. Linda, you got a little something that you want to show us?
Yes. ProWrestlingInsurance.com.
Whoa, wait. Higher and then close. I'm kidding. Come on.
I think I got that on the screen. So, ProWrestlingInsurance.com. It's almost open enrollment season. Not too late to start thinking about that. ProWrestlingInsurance.com with a supplemental coverage plan that can cost you just as low as $9 a month to make sure that you are covered no matter where you are, no matter what happens. And yes, it's ProWrestlingInsurance.com, but it does accommodate anybody. You don't have to be a pro wrestler. You don't have to be an athlete. It'll cover you in and out of the ring. Go to ProWrestlingInsurance.com. Say hello to our friend Chris. He'll get you some info, get you set up to make sure you are covered no matter where you are.
All right, fair enough. Hey, let's get into just a little bit of news before we kind of break down what now is an entire week of content that we got to go through. Are you guys ready? WWE Day 1 has been canceled, not rescheduled, not postponed, not set free to explore other employment opportunities. Day 1 is no longer. Linda, Day 1 was the pay-per-view that the WWE ran last year on Saturday, on January 1st. Day 1, I believe, is the one where Brock Lesnar came in and won the championship in the triple threat, wasn't it? Was it Brock, Bobby, and Drew, maybe? Or with Roman on there? I don't remember exactly how that one went.
It was when Roman was supposed to be on, right? But
yeah, Brock took his place, I think.
Right. Or is that the Chamber?
Tomato. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm almost positive it was Day 1.
Okay. Well,
Day 1-ish.
Yes. Yeah, it was Day 1-ish. That's what it was. Interesting to hear. I'm a little surprised by that, but I mean, if it's just a matter of too much going on already on New Year's Day, maybe we can bring back another pay-per-view that can be inserted any day of the year. One called Great Balls of Fire.
Ooh.
This is a one-time thing. Maybe we can bring that one back.
You know, there was a time when I had Great Balls of Fire, but I had to put a talc on it, like a little powder the doctor kind of prescribed to me. Matthew, you know what I'm talking about.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about. But I will.
What an awkward segue.
I think WWE should take basically the same process that my employer takes. You don't necessarily have January the 1st off as a paid holiday. What you have is a floating holiday. So introducing to you in 2023, WWE presents a premium live event, Floating Holiday. Yeah.
Brought to you by pooltoys.com, Floating Holiday. Yeah, there you go.
Changes every year, okay? So you always know they're going to have that second or that additional pay-per-view kind of thrown in there. Yeah, maybe some years it's in a second January pay-per-view. Maybe, it's the week after WrestleMania, huh? Maybe it's going to vary.
So maybe it's just a random Wednesday at 4 p.m. You never know.
Absolutely. Bring back Tuesday in Texas.
Live from Malaysia.
I was going to say that's when the pay-per-views are on at various times throughout the day, 11 a.m. on a weekday. It can happen.
Well, it does happen here in the Central when the pay-per-views come live from Riyadh, or if they come live from, let's say, the Castle. Those pay-per-views start at 11 o'clock Central a.m. here in the Central time zone. And then Matthew Thomas, never gets the East Coast feed or the West Coast feed. He seems to always get the Saudi Arabia feed. I don't know how that works out.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'll take whatever I can get.
India Standard Time. They have some odd time zones in there where they have like a half hour. It's like not just on the hour, like 30 minutes. They do their own thing over there.
Time zone
Interesting.
business, and there are multiple states that have multiple time zones running through states. Go figure that one out.
Well, back to time zone talk next week, but first we're going to go back to Monday Night Raw from last week, and let's kind of break it down here. DX, see what I did there?
Yes.
DX, the 25th anniversary, breaking it down, and they open up with some chicken talk. Matthew Thomas, I know this is your wheelhouse. Were you uncomfortable, or did you feel right at home?
Yeah, no, I'm very, very comfortable with chicken. I've actually got some in the freezer, as a matter of fact. I thought I was going to be able to cook it. However, the expiration date came up, so I decided to freeze it. Use it at a later date. So yeah, me and chicken we're synonymous.
Linda K, your thoughts on Raw overall before we get into the matches?
All I can think about right now is that DX reunion. I figured we would see some shenanigans ensue. However, I did not expect to hear cock mentioned.
Whoa, I didn't expect to hear it on this show either.
Referring to the rubber chickens.
I don't want you choking it, all right?
Choking. Yeah, see,
Oh.
There we go. But no,
Wow.
I did get quite a chuckle from all that. Great to see them all. I mean, yes, we did not have Daddy Ass there.
But referred to.
Yes, exactly. What did they mention? The office furniture? Or?
I think he's got a job in office supplies. Yeah, it's kind of what they referenced. Of course, they called. Of course, X-Pac had called out Joni China as well to make sure that she was well represented in the DX celebration. And Matthew Thomas.
There's an actual picture.
Oh my goodness.
See,
try not to choke that on air either.
See how comfortable I am.
If I didn't have these headphones on, I was going to go run and grab some office equipment that we were just referring to.
So what you're saying is, while we're choking chicken and scissoring here on the air, you guys, it would take. How long has PWR been on the air? 1998. So we're at about our 25th anniversary almost as well. In March, it'll be the 25th anniversary. Yeah.
Oh my.
Okay, we got to work on some other type of reunion. We have to.
Yeah, we'll call the guy from.
Whoa! WrestleMania season.
Did you see Linda have the thought? Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it just materialize.
See
that would be the 25th anniversary. It's funny too because DX had just started around that time too. Damian Nelson going to WrestleMania 14 in Boston, Mass, to watch the Stone Cold Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels match with Mike Tyson as the guest referee. They had done their first show the Thursday, I think it was the Thursday or the Wednesday before that. Damian Nelson and Carl, The Truth Love. Oh, those good times. Matthew, you seen the video, black and white? That's how old the video is.
And I think they actually had a special caller or 2 or 10 on that WrestleMania review.
I thought somebody, it was a preview, and I thought somebody called in and said, Baba Booey, Baba Booey. All right, well, you got Triple H, you got X-Pac, you got Road Dogg, and you got Shawn Michaels talking all about the chicken. Let's also talk about Johnny Gargano defeating Austin Theory. Austin Theory, let me ask you guys this, and I'll start with you, Linda, in just a second. Is Austin Theory being given the job treatment because he's the Money in Bank winner? Are we going to see a surprise? Are they bringing him down so low that we don't expect him to win?
I'm going to go with the latter on that. I think, ever since his father, as some people have referred Vince McMahon to him,
his daddy.
On Raw there has been absent. Things have changed for Austin Theory. It's not quite getting quite that push he was getting, maybe not featured as predominantly. I mean, still featured heavily on Raw, which is great. However, I feel this is more of a comeback story for him. I think we're going to keep things a little low. Not like it's super low. I mean, again, he's featured.
He's on TV every week. Right.
But I think he's not going to have many high moments right now. We want that big surprise, that huge pop when he does actually cash in that briefcase. I think it's going to be shown to us where we almost forget about it. I mean, yes, he's still mentioned as the youngest Mr. Money Bank of all time, et cetera, et cetera. But I think it's going to be focused more on him being partnered up, maybe a little more with Alpha Academy, maybe he's got that briefcase, but I just don't think it's going to be pushed in our faces quite as much until that.
Matthew, is this happening pre-WrestleMania, post-WrestleMania?
It's happening pre-WrestleMania, but I don't think he's taken the title off of Roman. I think the real surprise here is going to be that this, maybe for the first time in the history of the briefcase, is a cash-in on either a U.S. or an Intercontinental title. I think they're keeping him in our picture each week. That's the surprise here, because as much as I want it to be off of Roman, being that I have Austin Theory on Team Nelson Mandela, Roman's title run here. I mean, he's had it. Let's face it. I mean, we've got people that have been born and are now driving during Roman Reigns' title reign.
You could have got season tickets to a Packers game at Lambeau Field
Yeah.
before you would have got a Roman Reigns title loss.
Yeah, so I don't see this thing coming off via a Money in the Bank cash in. So I think either he cashes in and fails, or what I think is more likely, and the surprise in and of itself, is no, you're not going to expect it, off of a U.S. or Intercontinental title. Maybe he tries to win the tag titles by himself.
What happens if they split those belts off again and keep Roman as the Universal Champion?
Yeah.
Then does he cash in on the WWE Champion?
Much more likely. If you've got it split, then I'd say, yeah, he's probably going to have a successful cash in. But if it still stands that, until when the contract is up, Roman's got both titles, I don't see that happening.
Fair enough. Rey Mysterio defeats Chad Gable, but then Dominic Mysterio hits Rey with the 619. Dominic has been dominant on Rey Mysterio. Matthew, as we're going to get to in SmackDown in a little bit, Rey can't take it anymore.
No, you know what's so great about this angle, though? The absolute heat that Dominic is getting. And it's
a heat machine.
Yeah, and it's not go away heat. I mean, it is WWE getting exactly what they want. I mean, this is a heel. This is a dastardly heel that has turned on his father and betrayed his father. Like, this is the reaction you want, and it's so visceral. It is, it's all ages, all demographics, all genders out there in unison, just booing the heck out of this guy. So this is working exactly like it's supposed to.
Linda Kay, I know Matthew said it was all visceral, but Dominic has gotten to Rey. Rey hasn't gotten a one-up on Dominic yet because Rey refuses to hit his son.
Yeah, I mean, Dominic is getting so much heat. He can't even get a word out when he's trying to speak at first. I'm loving this. I think, like you guys,
and it's eyeball free.
That too. Good point. But just Dominic's changing his looks. I mean, we're really seeing that hair now. Just the whole thing with him and Rhea, and just the way he's behaving, getting on his knees, asking his dad to hit him, and just the way he is. I'm gonna say cockiness this time, not what I said before. It's just
that's twice, Linda. I don't ever want to hear cock coming out of your mouth ever again.
Well, it's not a DX anniversary every week. No. But no, this is great to see, and you're just so behind Rey. No matter if you're a father, a daughter, anybody, you're waiting for that moment where Dominic gets his.
We would be remiss if we didn't mention the return of a couple brothers, a couple good brothers. Machine Gun, Carl Anderson, Big LG, Luke Gallows. The boys are back. The OC is back on Raw. Matthew.
Yeah, nice surprise here, and they just keep on coming. And we talked about this on this show last week. WWE's return to factions and return to stables. And oh my goodness, we got another one added.
Another three-man group, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to see some prominence from AJ Styles here. AJ really one of those people that when you look at how things have changed since Triple H has taken over, AJ is taking a little bit of a back seat here in these last few months. And hopefully that was all intentional to get you to stop thinking about AJ and kind of surprise you with this. But my goodness, I hope they're utilized here. I mean, this was such a start-stop thing because they came in roughly around the same time as AJ. And you couldn't say Bullet Club either for, purposes of the word bullet or for trademark purposes or whatever the initial reason was. And then you had the club, and I guess now you're the OC that stands for the original club. I prefer it to the club, but I think they still need to work on the naming a little bit. Every time I hear of the OC, I think about the Fox TV series.
California.
Yes, that's the first thing that I think of.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Now maybe this is showing my age here because I didn't watch the OC. I mean, is that showing my age? I mean, I knew of the OC and the dude with the big eyebrows from Mr. Deeds, whatever his name was, Peter Gallagher.
Oh yeah, he was the father.
Enjoy a like a darker Saved by the Bell, then that's all you.
A darker Saved by the Bell. I mean, because that's
darker, even like a Dawson's Creek, but I would say a little darker, but way darker than Saved by the Bell if we want to go that route.
Let's talk to main events. Linda, kind of start us off with the main event. What happened there? Is WWE, with the formula that they've been using, is WWE starting to go back to the Vince McMahon era and kind of kill the main event where they're putting all the bigger stuff earlier in the program?
Can you refresh my memory on the main event of Raw this past week?
I am getting there. I am having some technical issues, and I've made our screen the entire computer, and I can't find how to minimize the damn thing.
Let me help. Going from memory, so we had it broken up. We had it broken up about halfway through, either at the 1 hour or the 2 hour mark. We had the U.S. title match with Bobby Lashley.
Yes,
had a little special surprise there, and then we might have had a title change. And then our other break was the Miz segment as well, too. I think Miz came a little bit later than the Bobby segment.
Well, how about we talk about the return of Farmer Brock or Cowboy Brock?
I don't know what to call him. Is it Tractor Brock? I mean, is it Corn-Fed Brock? Is it, I mean, because, if we're getting into Corn-Fed, we need to talk to Ryback because he was the Corn-Fed Meathead.
Meathead, you mean?
That's right.
That's a reference to everybody. Well, Brock Lesnar. Okay, I popped from that. Thanks for the reminder. Sorry, it's been almost a week, and been quite a busy week for all of us here. However, huge pop, huge surprise. Was not expecting that at all. I didn't see that on DirtySheets.com. I didn't know of any leak of that happening. So that was a huge moment watching that. That was a genuine reaction when I saw that happen. I was probably eating, and I probably dropped my jaw eating, thinking, wow, huge surprise here. And knowing from that Bobby Lashley would then lose his U.S. championship. Just figured that would happen.
That is amazing. So as I struggle through my little gimmick that I got here, I don't know why it's kind of taking over my screen here. That was Monday Night Raw. Let us move into just a little bit from NXT, just a taste, little chef's kiss, just a taste. And we are setting up the big show, which is Halloween Havoc this coming Saturday, the 22nd. And it's a premium live event. Do you, Matthew, do you, Linda, do you have anybody in your rosters? I don't think I have any NXT talent.
Not at the moment, but you know what? I might have to make a game time decision because as that pay-per-view or premium live event takes place, I will be in the great city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Milwaukee, Algonquin for the good land.
While I'm traveling that way and, consuming whatever I consume on the plane and the airport or whatever, I may have to really seriously think about it and weigh my options to see if I make a little game time decision there.
Linda, do you want to tell us about the big show coming up on Sunday, the 23rd, live from, what are we calling it? It's not the Blizzard Brawl home, right? Because, I mean, it's not GLCW's home, but it's the home of the Blizzard Brawl.
Yes, the home of Blizzard Brawl. Waukesha, Wisconsin, the Waukesha County Expo Center is when GLCW and Big Time Wrestling team up to bring you the Heart Attack Tour 2022, featuring the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Bret Hart will be our guest of honor at the Waukesha Expo Center this upcoming Sunday, October 23rd. I'm very thrilled to find out both you, Meathead, and you, Matthew, will be in attendance, among many others, on top of having Bret Hart there for a meet and greet. We've got Dax Harwood from FTR who will be there facing Jay Lethal. We've got Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Brian Pillman Jr. in the house. Yes, I'm not sure if they're going to be tagged tag team together at this one, but they have been as part of this Heart Attack tour as the new Heart Foundation. We also have some of our local talents from GLCW, including, of course, our pal, the Fanny Pack Kid Cal Hero. We have some of our talents from OVW making the drive as well. I will be the hostess with the mostest, doing the ring announcing as well. So
no referee in this time, right?
no, but hey, cards are always subject to change, so you never know. But as of right
What's
now,
this I hear about you reffing over the weekend, was it?
it was on this the weekend prior.
I
It
lose
was
track of
for
time.
Sports and Signings, and a great show in Kenosha, Wisconsin, where I got to ref a match to crown the first ever SNS champion. So
And it wasn't Andy Kaufman.
no,
Okay.
no. Greg Tanner, great talent out of Appleton, Wisconsin. Just so you know, and
I'm gonna have to take a look for her up here. I mean,
Yeah.
if it's from Appleton, the home of Harry Houdini, Matthew.
yeah,
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to see if we can get to the Harry Houdini Museum while we're in town.
So, can you change your flight plans right now? To hell with flying into Milwaukee. Fly into Appleton proper. The man they call me to pick you up, and we'll drive down, and I'll give you a tour of my drive.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I might have to see what I can do. I'll have to call my local travel agent.
Another thing I do want to mention about this upcoming Saturday, though, because you can stream Halloween Havoc whenever you want on the Peacock Network. If you want to see some
That's 3, Linda.
live, yes. If you want to see some tremendous, hilarious stand-up comedy, Uncle Al Snow is going to be in Grafton, Wisconsin this Saturday night, the 22nd, for an evening with Al Snow. That should be a lot of fun. I hope you guys can make that as well. That's again this Saturday night. So to get some info for that, you can actually find at blizzardbrawl.com, along with other show info for this Sunday's show featuring Bret Hart, btwtickets.com. But always go to the GLCW Blizzard Brawl socials for all that info. So big week coming up here in Wisconsin, and again, having a whole team together. That's huge.
That's a huge. It's kind of like, driving all the way down to Chicago and getting in special select White Castle when you didn't expect to get White Castle. It happens once in a while. Hey, let's talk about Havoc real quick. It's coming up this Saturday. Some of the matches already announced. Braun Breaker, who is called the Meathead, against Elijah Dragunov against JD McDonough. It's a triple threat for the NXT Championship. Carmelo Hayes, Oro Mensah. Am I saying his name right? Mensah, yeah. It's Oro Mensah.
Mm-hmm.
Wesley Von Wagner with Mr. Stone, our friend Robbie E. And Cal is still smarter than him, I think. And Nathan Frazier. It is a ladder match for the vacant NXT North American Championship. Roxy C, otherwise known as Roxanne Perez, takes on Cora Jade in a spin to wheel, make the deal, weapons wild match. Julius Creed and Damon Kemp in an ambulance match. Now, if Julius loses, Brutus Creed will have to leave NXT. Apollo Crews and Grayson Waller spin the wheel, make the deal, TBD. TBD is my favorite band at Summerfest, by the way, Linda. And Mandy Rose taking on Alba Fry in the singles match for the NXT Women's Championship. You guys excited?
Yes, it should be a good show.
Yeah. That spin the wheel, make the deal. Or I'm not sure whose match that is, but the match with Apollo Crews and Grayson Waller. I don't know.
Grayson Waller.
Yeah, if I don't know how close you've been paying attention to this, Meathead, but me and Matthew have been covering how it's been leading up to. There's been a lot of eye gouging and eye bleeding and eye redness going on. So if it's Halloween Havoc, there might be a chance of return of an eye for an eye match on that wheel or some type of shenanigans.
Let's finish up with WWE for the week, and then we'll get to AEW. SmackDown from Friday night started off in the most peculiar way. Is Drew McIntyre a face or a heel? Because as Karrion Kross is coming, out of his car accident that he had with Scarlett, Drew McIntyre attacks him while he's hurt. So who hit who, and who's the face and who's the heel here? Linda.
Well, this kind of reminds me of not too long ago during the
Hardy Sheamus.
Yeah, which we still don't know who hit. It was Elias, right? Wasn't Elias hit? And the blame was that it was Jeff Hardy, but someone spotted somebody with red hair.
Something like that, yeah.
Well,
by the way, Elias coming back on Monday, but we'll get to that in a second.
I did see that too. But number one, I noticed that it wasn't a Dodge Charger that was in
Well,
Correct.
Dodge Chargers, there's always an NXT accidents, as
Mhm.
you guys have noticed.
The Kieran Cross once drove that. Number two, I guess it wasn't made clear who caused the crash. In my mind, I see Drew McIntyre upset in the back, and in my mind, I'm like, oh wow, they had a collision, and they show Kieran Cross and Scarlett hurt, and then you see Drew in the back, all heated up, coming in and almost taking Kieran Cross's head off with the door. I mean, Drew's still the face here. However,
Drew's
those
words were, "It's not over. It's not over by a long shot." Yeah.
Well, I mean, think about all those sneak attacks that Kieran Cross has and Scarlett has
How about
done.
Scarlett with the pepper spray to the
mace,
face
yeah.
at the Clash? So,
Mhm.
Matthew, thoughts?
The take-home message here is there's no face, there's no heel. Accidents happen, and both of these guys would have been in their best interest to head to ProWrestlingInsurance.com,
Oh,
where they are covered for certain backstage segments like this. Duh.
thank you. I missed that one. I was too stuck on how there wasn't a Dodge Charger there. Thank you, Matthew. Making sure that you are covered. See, there's some proof right there on how ProWrestlingInsurance.com can help you out.
You know what? We got to get Chris on the program at one point to talk about
Yeah.
this as well. Our friend Chris Martin, who handles the pro wrestling insurance, because there's another guy way back in the day that kind of made his name with copyrights, right? He was the copyright guy. So all the wrestlers, all the boys, all the girls, they used to call him the copyright guy. Chris has got to be the insurance guy. So we're going to have Chris on the program. Matthew, your thoughts on Drew McIntyre carrying Cross. What direction are we going here?
No idea. And I thought we would get a little bit more payoff as the show developed. I mean, Cross was scheduled to be in a match. I thought maybe that would, that we'd get a little bit of a development there. But, we didn't. To the insurance thing, I just want to say, hey, we've had the Undertaker. Now it's time for the Underwriter. Isn't that
Oh, Matthew
Wow,
stays up at night, folks, writing these.
We're knocking these out of the ballpark.
Fantastic.
Doing
Hey,
what I can.
let's talk about SmackDown matches. Now, we didn't mention it that Sami had wrestled on Raw. He also wrestled on SmackDown as well. Sami Zayn defeating Kofi Kingston with help from the Bloodline. Matthew, start us off.
Yeah, this continues to be one of, if not the top angle in WWE, and Sami Zayn is one of the most over talents right now in the company. So the take-home message here is to get Sami on TV and get him on there often. I mean, you're seeing him on both shows now. I mean, it's like Sami is featured multiple times, so they continue to drive that point home.
Linda, is Sami really the ratings savior that WWE needs?
I mean, he is the hottest player in the game right now. I mean, think of those pops that you hear, and just him one-upping Jey Uso to some extent, just because of what's happening with Roman and how he's been talking down to, like the way he's treating, how he's making Jey Uso feel. It's just it's a little weird, but it
you bring up Usos, and it makes me think, I wonder if we announced any talents for the big show, the Blizzard Brawl show coming up in December in Waukesha. I believe we'll have an Uso there, but his name is the problem. Jacob Fatu, one of the many talents announced for Blizzard Brawl. Linda, do you happen to know them off I don't expect you to spit them all out. You're not Excalibur a night before a pay-per-view. I expect you to give me a long list of this without breathing.
Well, I think I did kind of do an Excalibur impersonation last week. We were talking about something. However, I did have a show last night where I did mention Blizzard Brawl and how this week there was an announcement of some huge talents coming into, as we have mentioned, the Waukesha County Expo Center. Blizzard Brawl this year will take place on Saturday, December 3rd. A huge guest of honor, Dustin Rhodes, will be in the house. And we also have announced Daddy Ass Billy Gunn, who will be
Send
there.
me Daddy Ass.
We've got the Nasty Boys with Jimmy Hart,
who
will be there. Kelly, Chelsea Green, Moose. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, visualizing.
If you
these
stall
posters.
for another second, I'm
But
bringing up the
Jacob
card
Fatu,
list right now.
as you just mentioned. So we will have an Oos back at Blizzard Brawl this year.
That's right.
You'll have Linda Kay there to some extent, not sure.
Some extent, right?
Yes, I will definitely be there. Hope to see the return of both you, Meathead, and Matthew at Blizzard Brawl again this year as well. If we can make that
Any
happen.
word on Earl? Will Earl be back?
You never know. There might be some chicken wings. I mean, we never know. We'll have to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Looking for the card. Give me a moment.
EC3.
EC3 is definitely in the house as well. We'll have more details on this, obviously, folks, as the weeks go by. But,
Yep.
I mean, a humongous show. Make sure you're getting your tickets early. Get them as soon as you can. Get those front rows go real fast. And I know that the rest of the stuff on the floor always goes pretty fast as well. We'll have to find a way to fit in where we fit in, or get in where we fit in, Matthew, because Linda will be working the show. She knows people. She can get in the door. We'll have to use that forbidden door in the back like we always do to try to get us into the show.
It hasn't let me down as of yet.
Hey, you know who didn't let me down by coming back as the talent that I've always wanted? Eli Drake. Yeah, Matthew. He defeats Mansois.
Yeah, this was a course correction that was certainly needed. Yeah, we've needed this for a long time. And I mean, the thing of it is, since he has been in SmackDown, we have not seen him wrestle. This was his first actual match. So it's good to get the name back, and I never thought that I would be happy to hear LA Knight, but I think I'll take that.
I'll take that music over everything else.
Over Max Dupree, and to actually see him in ring, I think is huge. This, there's a lot going on in WWE right now, but I think this is, when you look back, this is going to be a very, very significant move.
Linda K, let me ask you this. We still are getting Maxine Dupree, Mansois, and Massey. I think they've done a great job in not belittling them to bring back LA Knight. What do you see going forward with Maximum Male Models?
I hope there's still a push to continue the product lines, the fashion lines. There is something there. I mean, I was looking forward to the next fashion line being debuted each week when that was a thing. What
about turkey fashion? I mean, how great would that be? One comes out as like the gobbledygooker, but a MMM style gobbledygooker.
Oh, perhaps. But you have Maxine Dupree, gorgeous woman. Give her some more time. Like, she's already gotten some mic time to really show us more of what she can do as their manager, or maybe their valet. Let's do something more with them, where right now, okay, they're losing, they're jobbing, but they're still providing some quality entertainment. I think we can utilize the guys and give them a microphone, just give them some more time to show something. I think there's still something there. I personally want to see something more there. I'm just thinking of other tag teams they can have a feud with. That just kind of popped in my head, but I want them still featured. There's still something there to me for them to me.
Sure. Hey, Damage Control defeated Raquel Rodriguez, Shotzi, and Roxanne Perez. You know what we didn't talk about last week? The return of the TCB tank. Linda, I'm glad to see that Shotzi's back doing her thing, but Damage Control still running roughshod over all of the women's tag division.
Right. But hey, I mean, Shotzi showing us what she can do. Her and Raquel together, that there's something there.
Absolutely.
I really like that. I think they're both very strong women and very talented in the ring. I think just putting them against our current tag team champions, while it may take something to pull those titles off Damage Control, just because of how much of a build it was to have them be the current tag team champions. I don't see the belts coming off anytime soon, but
their music has singing to it now. It's got lyrics to it. So when you see and hear stuff like that, they're going to be around for a little bit.
Yeah. But I do like Shotzi, Raquel together. Something can be more with this. We're going to keep this going. Are we going to keep Roxy on SmackDown a little longer too? Who knows?
Maybe. Matthew, thoughts?
Yeah, I don't like this version of Shotzi. I think she's much more effective as a heel. I've never liked, not a real tank. So yeah, I want more of a little bit of a different form of Shotzi, and I mean, I think she resonates with a lot of the crowd, but I'm a little disappointed they took her away from the heel role.
A couple more things to run through on SmackDown here. Legado del Fantasma defeats Hit Row. Rey Mysterio, because of Karrion Kross's injury, Rey sees Triple H, says, "I quit." Trips says, no, let's talk about it. Inserts him into the four-way to find a new number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship. Ray is now at home on SmackDown. He can't deal with his kid anymore. And that really sets up Dominic to be his own man. Ray's doing his own thing on SmackDown. And finally, I want to spend a minute on this. Bray Wyatt spoke from the heart and came out. And then the masked character came on the screen. Matthew, start us off. Your thoughts on Bray talking from the heart. And really, we you know what? He really spoke from the heart about a man who had his career taken from him, had his confidence taken from him, and you could hear it a little bit of trembling. I loved every inch of it. You?
The last thing I expected, and I absolutely loved it. This is going in a different direction than a lot of people thought. And it's edge of your seat. Tune in every week to see how this thing progresses. I don't know where it's going, but this was very, very well done. I want to point this out, though. I had to watch it on YouTube because my feed actually cut. It cut right at the very end while he was still talking. Before you had the interruption,
We're the redheaded stepchild of
I know.
time zones in America.
So that was creepier than the man because Bray's just out there talking and they just go to the 10 o'clock news. So
next at the 10 o'clock news, Russell Wilson scores 3 whole points on all.
Yeah.
I shouldn't talk because if you saw what happened to the Packers Jets, let's move on. Linda K, your thoughts on Bray Wyatt or the other faces of Bray Wyatt?
Very interesting. Of course, loved hearing him speak from the heart. You felt that as well. Again, it's about making connections with your audience. And I think a lot of people could relate to what he was saying, how he was feeling. Again, total opposite of what I think most of us were expecting. Definitely expecting him to be this dastardly heel, being evil. But no.
Really, really nice.
But
very, very evil.
Yes. Well, then now this mask person figuring out, I had to watch it back because I was like, do I recognize this voice? That's what I was thinking about. But no, can think about it. Not really sure. It could be that's just more of this mystery. It started as a white rabbit.
We all followed him down the hole.
Mm-hmm. But this is cool. It's continuing. It's making you watch every bit of WWE programming once again.
Let's flip it. Let's go to AEW programming and let's talk about what happened on Dynamite on Wednesday night. The show opens up with Renee Paquette joining the program, formerly known as Renee Young on WWE TV. It is no surprise or no secret that she is married to the AEW World Heavyweight Champion Jon Moxley, or as I have friends call him, Moxley Plumbing Incorporated, because he looks like your plumber that would just come by and unclog your toilets. So she interviews Christian Cage to start the show. And Christian Cage says he has a right hand of destruction, and his name is Luchasaurus. Linda, your thoughts on Luchasaurus being the right hand of destruction? We've had him at Blizzard Brawl, and he wasn't destruction at that point.
I mean, he's got that huge presence. He's a scary guy, scary dinosaur. But this time, just being instead of with the green, you got him in black. Just definitely fits this change in character for him, and just being affiliated with Christian Cage. I mean, he's still going so strong as someone you just want to hate so much. Great heel. And also surprised seeing Renee Paquette on there. Awesome. Love her. So great to see her.
The show was from Toronto.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that too. But her now officially on AEW programming every week is awesome.
That's fantastic. Matthew, this match ended in a way we didn't think would. Jungle Jack Perry pinned by Luchasaurus.
Yeah, they apparently want to continue this for a while. Surprising, and I think he's ultimately going to come out on top. But yeah, this is just a little bit of a continuation in this feud here.
Matt Hardy and Private Party interrupt the interview with Stokely Hathaway and Ethan Page, and apparently Stokely has purchased Private Party's contract from the Andrade family office. So apparently they work for the firm now. It's convoluted, to say the least. Who's working for who? Whose contract does what? Jose the assistant, Roosh, everybody. It's a lot. Let's get to the match. Wardlow, TNT champion Wardlow, and Samoa Joe, the Ring of Honor television champion. They took on the Factory QT Marshall, Nick Comoroto with Aaron Solo, and this was a no contest. After the match, Wardlow putting QT in the Powerbomb Symphony. Matthew?
Yeah, pretty much what you expected right here. This was kind of an exhibition, more or less, and I wish I don't know. I can't get used to saying Warjo. I don't like the name. I think it's a little too gimmicky for both of these two. But hey, they've got such a big roster. You've got to feature people where you can. And I think with the current format, you may see more of this. You may see more odd couples like this just to get people on TV.
Yeah, I guess, because they start getting beat down by the embassy because here comes Prince Nana, Brian Cage, and I think it's the Gates of Agony. And then FTR with the save. Are we setting up an 8-man tag match?
Most likely.
Yeah.
Linda, your thoughts on the Swerve Strickland versus Daddy Ass Billy Gunn match with the AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Acclaimed, Swerve with the win, but by hook or crook?
By crook, he put his feet on the ropes, right? That's how the finish
He
went.
did. He
okay,
did.
we've been getting this heel turn slowly but surely for Swerve, so seeing it more and more. First of all, just seeing Daddy Ass out there. I can't even say Billy Gunn. I have to say Daddy Ass. It's just the first thing that comes to mind. But great to see him out there.
I mean, we know Billy, but calling him Daddy Ass, yeah.
Yes. On this program, yeah, I'm thinking Daddy Ass is what comes to mind. But considering we just had that DX anniversary, it's great to see Billy Gunn out there getting that love, all the scissoring, and just saw that.
Whoa. You can't say scissoring anymore. Because Smart Mark Stern onto the stage.
Because more confusion of who's buying what varsity.
So Mark says he trademarked scissor me in professional wrestling. So if they try to use the scissoring gesture, they will get sued so hard, you will be stuck in the court system so long, you'll be forced to forfeit those titles. Until then, scissor me, daddy niece, Matthew Thomas. We can't say it. I said it in a way that saved us from litigation. Your thoughts?
Yes. How great is it to see Billy Gunn featured like he is right now?
And looking good. Obviously,
yeah.
Billy was looking good.
Love it.
Probably that Knight's popcorn.
He's not just a coach. He's not just a talent to be there for the name recognition. My goodness, this is a prominent star on the AEW roster.
I'm confused what they're doing with MJF. If he's the self-proclaimed devil, why is he saying that I have no choice but to be the bad guy? I've broken my hand many times punching my own reflection. That's what a face says. Matthew?
Yeah, it's
a step down for me, honestly.
Yeah, this might be a gradual face turn, man. I mean, we're seeing it week after week. They're riding the fence with MJF, and he'll be a great face one day, but my goodness, right now, you need to make him that is your claim to fame right now at AEW, is you've got the best heel in the business. And for them not to lean into that right now, it feels like a mistake.
Yeah. Linda Kay, MJF is holding the chip. Now, they keep referring to the chip as like a Money in the briefcase or Money in the Bank briefcase that he could cash in at any point. That's not how it's always been. It's always been that Tony Khan will tell you when the match is. Your thoughts on him holding on to it like it's the briefcase?
The whole thing's it is a bit confusing. I was surprised to see him cut that promo when just a couple weeks ago he was saying so many awful things. Back to that MJF that we've known to love and hate, really. But that's a good thing because he is supposed to be this dastardly heel, and now they're teetering. And is he leaning one way or the other? Is he just playing mind games again? Is that what we're getting? I mean, we're seeing him.
Or do they not know? Or do they not know? Are they just kind of going back and forth?
I'm really sure. And he's holding on to that poker chip because, yes, he can. I don't say cash it in. What do you say when you turn in a poker chip?
Put all your chips on the table?
Yes. If he decides to put his chip on the table at any point, or he has that opportunity to put it on the table at any point, I want to see something built more. Will it be against Mox? Will it be against Hangman
and Page? Yeah, tomorrow night on Dynamite, a special Tuesday night edition. Again, here we are on a Monday morning talking about everything that happened last week in PWR, in pro wrestling on PWR Weekly. The promo between Mox and Page was a little weird as well. There's a point where Page says, "You called me a nice kid last week. Is that what you think I am? A kid to you?" It was a little bit stronger for Page, But still, Moxley, I don't know if this is the competitor that he needs. I think Moxley needs a dastardly heel to kind of drag him in. No, not Nick Cage or whatever pizza cutter guy's name is. But Matthew, your thoughts on the promo between Mox and Hangman and Page?
One of the more awkward things, I thought it was a good promo from Page.
Mhm.
If you notice, he's trying to bust himself open the hard way by continually punching his eyebrow. And he got a little bit, but at the end of that promo, and it was the side facing away from the camera, so you could only see it glancing. The
You see
dude,
the swelling, yeah.
yeah, I mean, he had a huge goose egg right there. And, I
Not
don't
for me.
know. I mean, it looked like a botched spot in the fact that, he's continually hitting himself and he's just swollen, which I don't want to see the dude beat himself up. So best of intentions. I think if you didn't have that and just let him deliver the promo like we got without the physicality onto himself, we'd be talking about what an excellent promo this was. That kind of messed it up for me.
Yep. How about the Ring of Honor World Championship match? The Lionheart, the Ocho, Chris Jericho defeating the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, and remaining Ring of Honor World Champion, Matthew.
That's the story you need to tell. Chris Jericho is ROH champion. It would not be the same thing if Danielson took it off of him right here. I mean, he is the unhonorable guy with the ROH title, talking about how honorable he is. That's the storyline they need to run.
Mhm.
The Ring of Jericho, 8-time champion. Let's talk main event. Yeah, All Atlantic Championship match with the rematch happening, and he had already lost to Pac. I knew it was time for our guy. I'm a big fan of his. It's time to see him with some gold. Your winner and new All Atlantic champion from America, whatever. Orange Cassidy, new champion. Linda, your thoughts on I'm trying to come up with a term. The guy has a belt.
No, well, it's tremendous. I think a lot of us were waiting to see some gold on Orange Cassidy right now, especially coming back from the injury, his absence, just everything that Pac has been doing. And you wanted to see the good guy win this one. And huge pop. We heard, Jane playing, and I was, when you watch TV, no matter where you are. Yes, I'm just at home and I stand up.
Yeah.
So very excited to see that. Glad to see the good guy having that.
Matthew,
title.
Orange Cassidy, gold around the waist.
This was smart because it's really, I don't think we're at a point where it would be perceived very well if he won your main AEW title. This is a title that's kind of flown under the radar. And I think this gives him something without necessarily the potential
Putting
back.
a bunch of heat on him.
Really, really good move and a great feel-good moment too.
Absolutely. I feel like you'd say feel-good moment. Again, I'm showing my age here. Do you guys remember McLaughlin Group? Linda Kay, hello. Let's talk about AEW and Rampage on Friday. John Moxley, Claudia Castagnoli, Butcher and Blade with the Bunny. Good match or bad? Linda Kay.
A great way to kick off Rampage. You want to see, speaking of the good guys winning, guess that. Sorry, that threw me off for a minute. I was just like, wait, what? Where are we going to this?
It was an old reference. Dana Carvey used to do this sketch on Saturday Night Live. It was McLaughlin Group was on like PBS, and it'd go like, Linda Jammy Jam Jam, and just ask a panel different political questions throughout the week. Linda Kay, your thoughts on the match?
Great way to kick off Rampage. Well, okay, Blackpool Combat Club, keeping them strong as well. Good move on that part.
Matthew Thomas, I can't do the voice anymore. Another win for the Blackpool Combat Club, this time with Moxley and Claudio. There's been some, let's say the IWC or DirtySheets.com, whatever you want to call it. There's been some weird talk about how William Regal talks to Excalibur on commentary. Well, hello there, man in a mask. We don't see you as often, Mr. Man in a Mask. Oh, you fluffy bunny, you! I would rub your ears. And there's been some really awkward conversations between William Regal and Excalibur on commentary. How do you feel? Are you uncomfortable?
Yeah, it was kind of cool and unique at first, but they continually have to one-up themselves here. And I don't know where you go to from here, other than
them two having a relationship, because it's getting awkward.
That's pretty much it.
Well, to
All
be
right.
fair, when you have Jericho on there too, there's always some awkward conversations with no matter who's there too. It's
Well,
entertaining to me.
If you listen, Taz is like, all right, boys, that's enough. All right, that's enough. I mean, it's not like JR back in the day. We used to say, hey, ladies, Pat Patterson's available, or hey, boys, Pat Patterson's available, or something like that. So, all right, Renee Paquette interviews Limitless Keith Lee with Swerve in the background. Linda, you referenced it earlier in the program. It's a subtle heel change. He says you're associated with me, and you don't have to cheat to win. Your thoughts?
Let's get that split that we're expecting happening a little bit more and more. We're going to get a good match between two of them at some point very soon.
Ring of Honor World Champion Chris Jericho, Pure Champion Daniel Garcia, and the Jericho Appreciation Society in the ring for a massive promo. And who interrupts him? None other than the boys and Dalton Castle. I'm going to say it for you, Linda. He was peacocking.
There you go. I didn't even think about how you know what? I'm going to have to say it because is it my turn to give my review on Dalton Castle and the boys? And Dalton Castle, I got to try to remember that intro that he had me give at a show we did with Tri-State Wrestling last month. But yes, there was something with Peacock mentioned in as well, or peacocking. I think they might have even said on Rampage. I'm not really sure, but great to see him, and him being a predominant figure in ROH and getting him more and more on our
former
AEW
ROH champion.
As mentioned, yes. Him and the boys, I think that's great because you're getting now, instead of the whole sports entertainers are better than pro wrestlers, Dalton Castle and the boys, I would say they're more sports entertainers. So there's something there between both. And Jericho and Dalton Castle, just the two of them.
I think it works.
Verbally.
I think it works.
I want to say, it's kind of a gimmick with the Jericho thing now, but that's another discussion for another time, is the lack of potentially, over the top talents in AEW. The way that they focus themselves and present themselves, it's much more of a sport, of a combat sport. I think there is some room, as crowded as that roster is, I think there is some room for, an over the top talent like a Dalton Castle.
Quote, if you grant me a title shot next week on Dynamite, I will shock the face right off your body and become the new Ring of Honor World Champion. And he said it as only Dalton Castle could. That's going to be happening tomorrow night on Dynamite. It's a match I never knew I wanted, but now I have to have. Yeah.
Some good stuff there.
Yeah. The native beast, Nyla Rose, who's currently the uncrowned TBS champion, took on Anna JAS, and Nyla Rose with the win. Here comes Jade Cargill. Here's the thing I don't understand. So Jade Cargill's girls, the baddies, were stopped by security. Why is Jade or the baddies being stopped when that's her belt? Shouldn't she be allowed to go get it? I don't understand it, Linda.
I guess just the fashion about getting it, approaching the ring, charging the ring. I'm not really sure about that, but I was just more thinking about how now Jade's becoming a face before our eyes, right?
I guess
she's getting more of the cheers. She does need to get that title back, which, as such of a strong, dominant champion she is, how is it being just not within an arm's reach of her possession? They turned around and saw they were running. They're like, where what happened? It's like,
and it happened on camera too. Yeah.
I want to say that is my least favorite trope in all of professional wrestling, is the stolen belt. This is the first time we've seen an AEW. AEW did a good job in their first 3 years of staying
away.
Yeah, that. But my goodness, to me, it's never served any purpose whatsoever.
Backstage, the best friends, you got to give the people what they want, are now looking to become 2 belt holders for Orange Cassidy as they challenge Death Triangle to a trios match on Dynamite. This story's not over, Mappy.
Yeah, no. Best friends, I think there's definitely, as a trios team there's always some interest there. So who knows? Maybe they'll be, carrying all the gold, which would work. I really think that would be really cool. And especially, does that mean Orange Cassidy would have to carry 2 belts?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he'd be orange 2 belt.
Hey, I do want to say, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but there was.
Would it be orange and tangerine then? Because it'd be a little bit.
There was an Orange Cassidy appearance at an indie show this weekend, and I don't know if you've seen the way he carries the belt to the ring, at least at this show. I don't know.
Is he dragging on the ground?
No, he carries it, and and an Eastpak backpack. He carries the backpack on one shoulder to the ring, slides it under the ring, and then once in the ring, he pulls the belt out of the backpack.
Okay, I'll take it. I'm waiting to see it on AEW television as well. Hey, let's talk the main event. Matthew, the return we saw on Wednesday night in that whole firm promo with MJF. Sean Spears, 10, tagging up with Wheeler and Hardwood. The Pinnacle are back, technically. And they took on the Embassy, the Machine, Brian Cage, the Swolverine, and the Gates of Andy Khan and Toa Leona with Prince Nana. What a great match. The Kingdom and Embassy scatter at the end after there's a pull apart because Warjo comes out again. Rampage, 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag again.
Yeah. A lot going on there. And let me ask you this, going back to Jade and going back to that title, do we almost need to do a little mini brand split and have that only defending on Rampage? Because there's been so much discussion we've had in recent weeks about what you're doing with that title, and you're almost dividing that women's division, who is not prominently featured, into two. Do you just make that a freaking Rampage specific title at this
point? Or you flip them around and you put the TNT title on TNT and you put the TBS title on TBS.
Right.
Can I bring up the end of Rampage too, as we talk about more Ring of Honor being featured? How about the Kingdom making an appearance? We have Rick Nellis, Mike Bennett, and Taven on there. Like that's nice surprise to see, and bringing ROH a bit more, and which I love ROH, and I'm just thinking. I know we talked about how it might be a little bit too much to try to put ROH, AEW, Dynamite, Rampage, and Forbidden Door. That's where in New Japan as well. And do we just have another program strictly for Ring of Honor? But
it's time
now that we have Warjo being featured a lot. We have Dalton Castle, Chris Jericho, just to name a few. We have FTR. Are they that ROH champions too? Right?
FTR are the Ring of Honor tag team champions.
Right. Well,
remember, Dalton Castle's a tag team champion too.
Oh yeah, him and the boys are the 6-man tag champs. Yeah, I don't know if this is. I was gonna say, Meathead, that I was gonna say that. Do we just make Rampage a bit more ROH heavy? Because this is getting me a bit more excited, just having more light on that. I think a lot of it has to do with Jericho, honestly. Right?
Let me ask you this: how many Ring of Honor talents don't have belts?
Jay Lethal.
I mean, there's more that have a championship that don't. And that, that's the watering down of the belts as well.
Okay. Well, but cool to see American Elvis there.
I think what you do make Rampage the ROH show, and you change the name to Rompage. ROH.
Where's that cricket button?
It writes itself.
Oh boy.
Well, Rompage, like
Rompage. Well, we've written ourselves tonight. We've got Raw. Tomorrow night, we have a very special AEW Dynamite going head-to-head with NXT. We've got a lot more stuff going on all weekend long. Big pay-per-view this Saturday as well for NXT. It'll be Halloween Havoc on the Peacock. We've said cock now 6 times. So, anything else you guys want to close out with? I know we got the big show this Sunday for Bret Hart. Matthew Thomas in Milwaukee.
Absolutely.
In town. The man that called me in town in Milwaukee. And Linda Kay just doing her thing at the show as well.
And there just may very well be a lasagna in your future yet.
Ooh, is your sister bringing it? Is your mom bringing it? Bring lasagna.
Our accommodations, we did find out our accommodations does have a full kitchen, which means...
Wait, it's not one of those NBC suites like I stayed at in Dallas, right? When they had 5 stars, it was 0.5.
No, I'll have to talk to my travel agent about that.
All right. Well, let's talk to everybody next week here on PWR Weekly. It's my first day. For Linda Kay, for Matthew Thomas, I'm the man they call Meathead. Thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you guys next week. So long, everyone.